What is up, Chelsea fans? We are at part 3 of rebuilding Chelsea for next season. It is the final third, the attacking third, which I think is going to be the most difficult to decide who we are keeping, buying, and obviously selling in this upcoming transfer window. Now, in this video, like I said, this is my predictions on who Chelsea needs to bring in, keep, and sell because as we know, we definitely need to be doing something different with this squad if we want to compete with Liverpool and Manchester City in the next season. With that being said, let's talk about our players that I think we should keep. Now, when I say this, I think some people are going to be completely upset about this, but Romelu Lukaku, I think we keep for at least one more season. Yes, he has been a complete dud this entire season, and I'm not sure what to say about this, but at Chelsea, we've definitely given players another season. Look at Timo Werner, which we'll talk about a little bit later, Fernando Torres, just to name a few people, Morata. I mean, we've definitely given forwards at least 2 seasons when we have them, and again, we just got him. I would hate to see us just have 1 season after signing a massive contract with this player just to ship him out to another team. Again, because if he can get things going correctly, properly, and just get his confidence back, maybe he can start scoring goals. And on top of that, maybe if he starts taking PKs for Chelsea, that will start giving more confidence because, again, if he starts scoring more goals, people are going to be happier for this player. So who knows what will happen with Lukaku, but hopefully we can keep him. Now, that being said, let's move on to then other players that I want to keep. Another player, obviously, is Kai Havertz. I shouldn't have to say much about this. The way this guy has been playing as of lately, I think we can definitely build a team around this player. He's definitely one of the players that's definitely elevated his game in this last season with Thomas Tuchel, and therefore, again, we will be keeping this player. And then the last player who I think we should keep right now, which this, again, is up in the air because you could disagree, you could agree with it, is Christian Pulisic. Yes, I want to keep Christian Pulisic over Timo Werner. The reason why is because Christian Pulisic, I am American, yes, so maybe I'm biased, but 23 years old, very good foot skills. Again, he has this attacking mindset we saw in this last game against West Ham. He can come off the bench and score goals. He has that attacking mindset, and we've seen him have these flashes of games against Liverpool last season and other games this season where he can just really dictate the game, whereas we can't see that as much with Timo Werner, who, again, we'll talk about, has just more pace, and that's about it as a player. So those 3 players, as of right now, I think we should keep. If we wanted to, we probably could keep Hudson-Odoi. I think with his age as well, we can keep him, but things aren't really working out for him, so if he was to leave the club, I wouldn't be too surprised. So that being said, that means there's quite a few players that I think we need to let go this season. Now, obviously, the first one we are going to talk about is Timo Werner. Now, yes, like I said, I do love this player. I love most of our German players that ever played for this club, minus Marco Maren, who we don't need to get into, but Timo Werner, yes, plays for the badge every game, every week. He goes out there and performs for Chelsea. Not maybe 100%. I mean, we expect more goals from him, and as of lately, he's been doing that. But in the grand scheme of things with Timo Werner, I don't think it's been really working out. We gave him multiple seasons at the club, and like I said, we do that. Again, we want to do that with Romelu Lukaku, but I think with Timo Werner, I think it's time that we try to offload this player. Yes, he, again, has had some great goals for this club. I hate to see him come back and beat Chelsea in a different team, but more than likely, I think he's going to go off back to the Bundesliga, and therefore we won't have to play him unless we play him in the Champions League. And I think, again, it's time to cut ties with Timo Werner. Now, that being said, we also probably need to cut ties with Hakim Ziyech, which, same thing, we had high potentials for this player, but same thing, it just isn't working out for him. Thomas Tuchel can't really get things going. We've seen these peaks and valleys of him performing very, very well and then performing very, very poorly. And it just seems to be so much distant when we get multiple games of good games. And therefore, again, I think this is a player we should offload sooner than later because as he's aging, I don't think we're going to get more money for him. So this might be the best time to sell this player and, again, readapt our attacking mindset. Now, those are the players I think we should sell. I guess you could throw Kennedy in there as well, but we're probably going to loan him out or sell him. I don't really need to say much about him. Which brings us to then who we bring in. Now, this is where I think it's a little tricky, but again, if Chelsea's able to have the money to back up the payment-wise for some of these players, I think we can bring them in. Now, the first one is me just being very, how I want to say this, I'm very optimistic that we're going to bring this player in, and that is Robert Lewandowski. I think if we can bring in him, that would be a massive, big deal for Chelsea. Yes, that would make issues with Romelu Lukaku, but maybe if we did a two up top with Romelu Lukaku and Robert Lewandowski for a few games, that could be an interesting combination. I think those two players could definitely play off well with each other. But like I said, we don't need to talk about how great of a striker he is. If we can bring him in for a couple seasons, yes, he's a little bit older, but again, he knows how to score, and that's all we really care about. Along that lines, his teammate, Serge Gnabry, I think this is another player that can be phenomenal on the outside. Whether he plays on the left, plays on the right, I'm not too sure how Thomas Tuchel will utilize him. But this guy is just insane. I know we saw him play a little bit at Arsenal back in the day when he was in the Premier League, then went off to Bayern Munich and definitely has exploded as a player. I think if he comes back in the Premier League, he definitely will shine very brightly. And I think Chelsea have a good opportunity to sign this player because, like I said, with new owners coming in, we should have a lot of money to buy some new players. And obviously, if we're selling some of these great players that we have on our club, we should be able to afford some of these other players. That being said, a few other players that I think may be on the list, which again, it's up in the air, and again, please don't knock this, but I think he could fit in at Chelsea as well, and that is Wilfried Zaha. Yes, I know. Crystal Palace hasn't been the kindness to him, where he definitely hasn't been shining as well as he probably could be, because I don't think he's around as great of players. If he was with other players, I think he could play even better, and the reason why I think he'd be a good signing is because Conor Gallagher is coming back from Crystal Palace. They obviously have a good combination going on. So bringing Zaha with him back, Conor Gallagher, I think this could be a good chemistry combination for Thomas Tuchel to work with. As we've seen with Zaha, very good foot skills, able to kind of dance around, play around players, and then play some decent balls. But like I said, he's missing that other player to finish some of his crosses, some of his passes, and therefore I think at Chelsea, he would fit in very, very well. Now, there's only one other player I think we need to talk about, and this one, again, is more far-fetched, and maybe I just have a love for the German players because it's another German player, and that is Mario Götze. I think Götze, right now, being 29 years old, he's getting paid about $3 million, I think, per year. So, again, very, very low salary, and I think this is a guy that if we buy him, we're not going to be spending too much. So again, it's more of a low risk, high reward for this player to bring him in. He can also play as a false nine, and this is a player that, again, being German, can relate to Thomas Tuchel, and therefore we get a little bit of chemistry with this guy. Again, we've seen him play well. Yes, he has some health issues, but again, if we're not paying that much for this player, he has a low salary. This could just be a great sub to have, or just a more depth in our squad with Mario Götze, because like I said, he is a winner. He won the World Cup with Germany. He's won other titles, and therefore, again, if we could maybe bring in this player, that would be a good signing for Chelsea. That is a recap on Chelsea's rebuild, the last video of this Part 3 series, talking about the attacking third. I want to know what you guys think, though, so comment down below who you think Chelsea should buy, who we should sell, and who we should keep at this club. I really want to know what you guys think. And if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. It's going to be right by that cat. So that is all I have for you, and I will see you next time.